Guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I'm overdue for an update, but I'm going to be talking today about something a little more interesting, things that I have more to talk about than my update, because I'm honestly like doing fine, except for like that I had a stitch try to come out after my incisions closed up, but I will be talking about that in this video. And yeah, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about things I learned after having my surgery. So if you are interested in getting surgery, if you know anyone else that's interested in getting cosmetic surgery, send them this video. And you know, it's just like a little warning video, a little like, you know, if nobody told you, I'm gonna tell you kind of video, you know. If you guys are interested in any of that, just go ahead and keep on watching. So as far as updates go, my incisions are doing fine. About 2 months ago, I started having pain in one of my, in my left incision, breast incision, and it got worse and worse and worse to the point where I couldn't even touch it. It was getting red, and it was because I had a stitch trying to come out, and my doctor gave me some antibiotic just in case I had an infection, and one thing led to another, and it ended up the stitch ended up finding its way out through my incision. Keep in mind, my incisions have been closed up for months and months. So this happened at about 4 months post-op. I am 6 months post-op now, and yeah, I did not think that that was possible for that to happen. Just heads up that even though your incisions are all closed up, you could still have stitches that do not dissolve that want to come out, and they will find a way out. So it was the same breast that I had issues with that healed really rough. I had a lot of stitches want to come out from there, and it was, you know, it was kind of scary. And that's the one, if you watched my last video, that was like more of a transformation video and like an update at the end, and I show pictures in there. So another thing for incisions is that it's normal for incisions to look like they're infected. Like literally, like I was like, oh my god, like my husband's an RN, so he wouldn't be worried, but also he's like, well, I don't have a lot of wound care experience, so you know, it would get to the point where he was even questioning it, like, is that normal, you know, kind of thing. The healing process is not always smooth. It's gonna look worse before it looks better, to be honest. So as long as you're doing everything your doctor tells you to do, stock up on gauze and on tape, medical tape, and on freaking Meta Honey, and you should be fine. That's how I healed like all this stuff. So, but you know, consult with your doctor, of course. Yeah, so that's for my incisions. I am still like, even on my boob area, like under here where around my incision, I'm still numb. So like when these things happen, the stitches come out and you gotta go get them done. Like obviously if your doctor is going into your incision trying to find, you know, yeah, it'll feel like stinging, burning, but like the surface of it, of stitches coming out, the skin around the scar and all that is pretty numb. Like you can feel, it's kind of like when you're at the dentist and they numb your mouth, like you can feel pressure, but you don't feel pain. So similar to that. So yeah, so as far as my incisions go, right now at 6 months post-op, they're totally healed, and aside from that one stitch and my left breast like taking longer, the longest to heal out of all my incisions. I had one spot in my tummy tuck incision also that took longer to heal. So all that is normal. Everything's not going to heal perfectly and, you know, smoothly, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so yeah, so the healing process, you can see there will be like little holes. You'll have like white, yellow looking tissue. It'll look weird, but most of the time it's gonna be normal, unless like obviously you're not cleaning it correctly, you just contracted an infection, things like that. But obviously, goes without saying, consult your doctor. Don't just assume, but you know, just for your peace of mind, before you're getting all the information, before you go see your doctor, just keep that in mind that, you know, it's probably normal, but you still want to see your doctor, kind of thing. I don't want you guys like freaking out before you get your answers, you know. So I had a tummy tuck, a breast lift, I had lipo, and I had muscle repair because I've had 3 pregnancies. So I badly needed that. Something I didn't know about my muscle repair, I knew I would need muscle repair, I just didn't know how severe it was. And after I've looked into it a lot more, it makes so much sense why I've had lower back pain and why I am so uncoordinated sometimes, or I used to be. I just never engaged my core. It was so weak. I had a 3-finger gap between my abs, so if you can like imagine, like my abs were like this, like they were not like this. So definitely, if you are not interested in a tummy tuck but you've had pregnancies and you feel like your workouts aren't as efficient, you have lower back pain, all of that stuff, you probably have ab separation, so you might want to look into that. And that also is the cause for, you know how we say after we're pregnant we always look like we're 3-4 months pregnant? Well, it's because our abs, like, they don't not only separate like this, they like can fall forward. So also, you know, if you're not interested in a tummy tuck but you do want, you know, your stomach to look normal and for you not to look, you know, like you're pregnant still, if that bothers you, you know, definitely consult with your doctor. If you've had, I would say at least one, but multiple, especially if you've had multiple pregnancies, you probably want to get that fixed. I think you can get that fixed through your insurance, depending on your insurance. Also, it's like not as invasive as a tummy tuck. Okay, and then also, I want to talk about this Facebook group that I was in. I made a TikTok about it, and I don't know what to think of it. I have my theory, and I just want to share it with you guys. So basically, in this Facebook group, it's super positive, 100%, you know. Okay, ma'am. Lots of information. Sweet girls, they keep bullying, like, you know, at bay or shit talking or whatever, right? So anyways, nothing bad to say about the group in general, but it rubbed me the wrong way when I would see, like, so many women talking about how they are trying to convince their husband, you know, to do this surgery, for their husband to let them do the surgery, right? And I understand that, you know, finance-wise, you want to talk to your partner and be like, hey, I want to do this. It's expensive. It's like buying a car, XYZ, right? The financial aspect of it, I get it. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone is comfortable taking out a loan or anything like that, right? But my thing is, you are at a point in your life that you're uncomfortable with your body especially after having kids. I'm going to speak on my behalf because I know that there's different people with different circumstances for the reason for weight gain, but I'm just talking about my experience personally. I had 3 pregnancies and it really changed my body. Like, I literally look like a totally different person. And I know that's a fact for a lot of women that have kids that get pregnant. Literally, you look like, I don't want to scare you guys if you don't have kids and, you know, you want to have kids one day, but literally, like, if you, and me, I'm talking about me because I know I didn't take care of myself before I had kids. Like, I wasn't an overweight person, but, you know, I wasn't like super athletic or, you know, thin. So I feel like I was right in the middle, and I had minimal activities that I would do. Like, I didn't really hike, I didn't work out, I didn't play sports growing up. So I had like nothing, I had no muscle, like nothing, you know. So, you know, obviously having kids and the stress and the hormones, like, that's what I don't understand. It's like, we go through all these, RAMSES home, we go through all these things and they don't. But why, like, do we have to explain ourselves when, you know, they'll never understand? You will never understand. Anyways, I'm getting riled up. Anyway, so it's not about those posts, like, oh, I need to convince my husband that I want to do this and it costs this much or whatever, right? But the ones that would, like, rub me the wrong way were the ones that would say, oh, you know, can you guys show me pictures of, you know, your scar, you know, because my husband doesn't want the scar to look bad, or he thinks it'll look bad. Or like, oh, can you show me pictures of, you know, your lift or your implants or whatever at this size, because that's what I want, but my husband says that that's too big or that's too small, or like, you know, I don't get that. You know, it's like, if you're on board with the financial aspect of it and you are supporting your partner in this choice, then that's that you having like a say in like how you want them to look is different than like when they ask you, oh, what do you think of this or whatever. You know, that's different. That's an opinion, you know, and you're asking. But if you're telling them like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and like, oh, no, I don't want that, but it's gonna look like this, but is it gonna look that, like, that pisses me off, honestly. We are partners, like, fuck the bullshit of like, oh, you know, you have to like worship your husband. I don't know what the Bible says, I don't remember, but yeah, no. Also, there are like posts where women get this done and they're just like, oh, my partner didn't help me and he wasn't here, he only came one day, or he only did this, or he's mad at me, or like now that I had my surgery. It's like all that has like, there's so much toxicity in that narrative of he's making me feel bad for wanting to make myself feel better about myself. Like, it's not my job to make you feel secure. Like, if me being confident in myself and wanting to be able to dress how I want without feeling uncomfortable, for me to be able to be naked and see myself in the mirror and not feel uncomfortable, that has nothing to do with you. I just think of how everything went with me and my husband, and like, I've been talking about this for years, and he didn't take me serious up until, you know, we had our third baby, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna start, you know, looking, and, you know, after that, it did get a little more real, but it was never about him. Like, he never made it about him, like, oh, what he wanted me to do, what he thought, no, it was just literally just support. I mean, if that's what you want to do, if that's what, you know, I just want you to do your research, you know, I want you to go to you know, at least 2 consultations. Like, don't just like, you know, he would just give me advice, but it had nothing to do with like what I would look like. Regardless of what I would look like, he was going to support me. Obviously, there are lines that are crossed in the plastic surgery realm, which I totally understand. I literally couldn't find like the things that I wanted to wear. I couldn't find things that fit. My body type is like mid-size. I'm like a mid-size person, like 8'10". I'm not, you know, 4'6", but I'm also not like 12, 14. So yeah, I can't imagine being in that situation and having to deal with that. But hopefully, if you're in that situation, you know, you can find the courage to say, hey, look, this is about me, it's not about you. You know, I was the one that was pregnant. I'm the one that, you know, breastfed. I'm the one that did all these things, that I sacrificed my own body, and it was used for other things besides me just being a human being in this vessel kind of thing. So it's like, now I want to be better, more of a well-rounded person, and not just feel like, oh, well, this is just who I am now, and this is just my body now, and like, oh, well, I'm a mom, I'm not allowed to wear stuff like that, I shouldn't be wearing that or doing that or whatever. It's like, it's nobody's business at all. Also, I've seen a lot of, oh, well, what, I don't know what to tell my family or to tell my in-laws because they're very, you know, religious. It's, you know, it comes back to like the religious, like, oh, you know, they don't think that that's right, and like, oh, they think that that's this or that, they think negative of it, you know, and that they want to hide it, and they want to, like, what can they say? And it's like, you know, it's nobody's business. You don't need to tell them anything. You really don't. So yeah, that was my little rant. That was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, because it's an issue. It really is. Like, these men don't want women. They just want like an adult child to obey them and do things for them. But if they want to do anything for themselves, it's like, whoa, whoa. Like, why? So you could look good? You could look hot? So you could be confident? Well, no. Can't have that. Because then you'll leave me. Then you'll see what a piece of shit I am, and then you'll have more confidence to leave me. Like, I can't have that. That's what that tells me. And I think the last thing that I want to touch on is that this is a process. This is not like, oh, at 6 weeks, everything's going to be healed. I'm going to be like flat as a board and everything's going to look great. no, like, you're still gonna have little pains, little aches and pains, little like sensitive areas. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I still have, you know, that issue from time to time. And then also the bloating and the swelling is, I'm still experiencing that to this day. My theory is that, you know, I've just never had like a flat stomach. So when I was bloated, I never really, I couldn't tell because my stomach always kind of stuck out. And now that my stomach's flat, I notice like right away when I'm bloated, when I eat anything, you know, I get bloated. So also I've been reading up a lot about bloating, and it's definitely triggered. Bloating's not normal. It's definitely triggered by something, lack of water, you know, some sort of intolerance that you have to a food. So I definitely want to do a food sensitivity test, just because that would be super helpful for me, and I could, you know, stay away from certain foods. So I will probably, maybe I'll do a video on that once I do that, but that would be pretty cool. I know we all get caught up in that. Like, I see so many comments and posts and, you know, about women talking about I was gonna look like this, and I thought it was gonna be better. I thought, you know, and don't get me wrong, a lot of women actually, you know, get botched or get, you know, have to get revisions on their scars or tummy tucks or their breasts or whatever. And I get that, but a lot of these posts that are women that say this, and I actually look at their photos, I'm like, where? Like, you look better than me. You look great. Like, you look amazing, you know? And I just feel like we can be our hardest critic. I definitely encourage you guys to go into this with a level head. Don't strive for perfection. Like, we're not supposed to be perfect beings, you know, like no stretch marks, no fat, no roll, no nothing. Like, no, that's not realistic, you know, unless you're gonna get like a full body, like, I don't even know, like, or if you're gonna keep going back for revisions of things that you don't like, then, you know, then that's your prerogative. But if you want this to be like your one and only surgery and just get it done, then yeah, I definitely suggest, you know, being in a good headspace and knowing that it's going to be a process, knowing that it's not going to be a one and done thing. Please get into some sort of activity, hiking, walking, daily walks, you know, strength training, yoga, something before you have your surgery. And it's not to lose weight, it's just so that you have an easier time after getting back into some sort of active routine, because you get, unless again you get lipo like all over your body or something, like, you have to, for your brain, for your organs to be in some sort of routine, active routine. You're going to gain weight if you're just eating like shit and not doing anything. That's just literally like, yeah, some of us have fast metabolisms, but guess what? Those people are not necessarily healthy either. That is just something that is super important. I see a lot of women like talk about that too, that they get surgery, but then they gained weight, and how did they look after they gained weight, and what did they do to lose the weight? I'm like, dude, you have, if you are eating clean, and be honest with yourself, like, more than like a few days, more than a week of eating more fruits, more vegetables, less junk food, less processed food, and you're active, like you're walking daily, or, you know, 5 days, 4 or 5 days out of the week, if you're doing that for 30 days at least, and you're not seeing any results, and you're still gaining weight, or you're still the same, that's a medical issue. That's not something that you need a diet pill for. That's what I mean by, you need to learn how to love your body and what it can do for you before you have these kinds of surgeries, because you're going to continue the cycle of not liking how you look no matter what surgery you get. So I had to get that off my chest, because yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard. I was talking to my sister today. My sister's 20. She has no kids. She did sports all her life. Like, she goes to the gym all the time. She's way more active. And I was telling her, I'm like, I'm really proud of you that, you know, you're getting into that routine, even though it is hard. Like, I know how hard it is. Like, I was never a very active person. So then once I wanted to be active because I needed to lose weight, I was like, what the heck? This is so hard. So, I mean, I highly suggest, not even if you want the surgery, but just get into some sort of routine. It doesn't have to be weight training. It doesn't have to be cardio. It can be hiking. It can be boxing. It can be like anything, you know. Definitely do that, because once you have kids, if you decide to have kids, your body, the hormones, everything is a lot harder. So that's definitely something I wish like I would have like stuck with sports when I was younger, or done some sort of activity. That way when I became an adult, it would have been easier for me to, you know, maintain that cardiovascular, you know, stamina. But yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys. I hope you learned something, or you can pass this video along to somebody that's interested in getting surgery. But yeah, hopefully if you are getting surgery, good luck, and everything will be fine. It will pass. Just get past like that first week and you'll be golden. So you guys have a good rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and like my video, because that helps my video, and comment something cute or something sweet or some emojis or something down below. Thank you. Okay, bye.